Joining us now is political analyst Jim Warren, executive editor of NewsGuard, which rates the credibility of news and information sites. Good morning, Jim.
Nice.
Let's go to point number one here, bashing Biden, bemoaning America.
Yeah, interesting. Rather than wait till the second or third night, as is tradition, they got it over quick, nominated Trump, and as you saw, he entered the arena with sort of masterly stagecraft, wounded warrior, almost like this was a WrestleMania event, and he came from under the arena to up front. Meanwhile, in the hours preceding, you had a lot of bashing of Biden, portraying him as kind of sleepy and even a bit senile. A prominent businessman used the F-bomb in prime time when it came to him. And you know, it suggested by and large, speaker after speaker, that the economy was a wreck. This is a third world country. We've lost our standing in the world as it accentuated family, faith, and financial security, and made a real overt plea for black Americans to come to the Republican side. Lots of black elected officials, most of them pretty, low level. You probably haven't heard of them. And then in prime time, weirdly, a model and reality TV star, biracial, Amber Rose, who I think a large audience probably had never heard of, but this was all about peeling off, in theory, some black votes from the Democrats.
Yeah, I saw Tim Scott as well. And so your second point is Trump's risky bet.
Yeah, it's picking as vice president J.D. Vance, a largely unknown senator of 2 years, a born-again Trump fan who's got very few accomplishments in the Senate so far, and a lot of his past record, particularly in private equity, for a guy who sees himself as a populist, hasn't really been explored much at all. Famously, in 2016, he called Trump voters idiots. He called Trump an American Hitler. He doesn't particularly bring a single demographic their way. He's a 40-year-old white guy. They're going to come. They're probably going to win Ohio, so he doesn't bring that. So what's up here? I think Trump was being Trump, went with his gut, just happens to like the guy, and it sort of resonates a bit like, remember when Mitt Romney picked Paul Ryan, a Republican congressman from Wisconsin, just because he liked him. We'll see what happens.
All right, third point, cheers for Marjorie, jeers for Mitch.
Very interesting. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who increasingly is sort of an odd figure in the Republican Party, even one who worries a lot of Republicans by her erratic remarks. She was cheered by telling the convention that this country only has men and women, and the subtext was gays and transgenders don't count. At the same time, booed was none other than the head of the Kentucky delegation, Mitch McConnell, when he said we vote for Trump. This is the guy who sabotaged Barack Obama's Supreme Court nominee of Merrick Garland and strong-armed 3 Trump Supreme Court nominees, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Barrett, through, and will be a major figure in how history in this country has changed to the benefit of conservatives. But nevertheless, the rank-and-file Republicans see him as old, stodgy Republican who has not paid sufficient loyalty publicly to Trump.
All right, that fourth point, fight, fight, fight.
If one had any doubt about that image on Saturday of a bloody Trump putting his right hand up and saying, fight, 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 that any doubt that's going to become iconic, and already has, it was dispelled last night, of people using it throughout the convention. It will be a rallying cry throughout the campaign, even though we won't be exactly sure what they're fighting against, but it's going to provide, I think, real messaging oomph for the Republicans.
Although his demeanor was much softer last night.
Much softer. Well, 48 hours earlier, he was target of an assassination attempt.
Yeah. Point 5, a union reunion.
We were mentioning this just before we went on. Really, really interesting. President of the Teamsters, a former Boston trucker, Sean O'Brien, 1.3 million members of the Teamsters, speaks. No Teamster president has ever spoken to a Republican convention. They haven't endorsed the Republican Party in like 40 years or so. But it was fascinating as he made clear that they might endorse them, they might not, but at the same time gave such a rousing pro-union, anti-corporate speech that one was wondering, what are all those corporate CEOs who backed Trump thinking he was really, let loose and bashing them.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see at times when he said how greedy and awful American corporations were, J.D. Vance, the new populist, clapping, wounded warrior Trump, not.
Yeah,
So we'll
it'll
see.
be interesting
Yeah,
to
we'll
see what
see.
Republicans do with that dichotomy. Let's talk about the interview that Trump did,
President
President Biden did with Lester Holt.
I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing. Focus on his policies. Focus on the number of lies he told in the debate. Focus. I mean, there's a whole range of things that, look, I'm not the guy that said I want to be a dictator on day one. I'm not the guy that refused to accept the outcome of the election. I'm not the guy who said that won't accept the outcome of this election automatically. You can't only love your country when you win.
Yeah, so he's referencing, I suppose, some of the conspiracy theories out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, overtly, this is his latest attempt to, reverse the dynamic that was put in play by the disastrous debate performance. Then came an uneven interview with George Stephanopoulos, and now this. If you looked at it all, he looked a little bit slow. He misspoke a few times. He pleaded with Lester Holt to underscore all the factual errors and arguable lies that Trump had told that night in the debate, not to any seemingly successful end. And I don't think in any real way, shape, or form at this point it reverses the dynamic of a guy who's really, really on the defensive as a result of that debate performance.
Jim, thank you.
Pleasure, guys.
Hey, Paul.